What's going on, folks? Happy Monday to you guys. It's Case on the Mondays with Lyle, and if you're listening to this, you obviously have a case on the Mondays that needs to be cured, and what better way to cure it than by listening to this wonderful podcast? First of all, I'd like to say a very special happy birthday to anybody with a birthday today, if not this week. Hopefully you have a very special, if not better, birthday than you've had in the past birthdays, or hopefully it is at least better, if not as good as your past birthdays. To let you know, I have stopped and recut this thing opening so many times right now. So I'm just going to go along with anything that happens, okay? Second of all, I would like to wish anybody a very good luck with any meeting, any job interview, anything you may have going this week that is of much importance. I wish you the very best of luck. I hope you get the results that you're looking for. If not, hey, look at it on the bright side. Maybe it wasn't meant to be, and there's better things out there that are coming your way. So keep a positive head, huh? Also, I'd like to say congratulations to anybody who did have a meeting of some sort, a very important occasion that they just were nervous about, biting their nails about, just racked your brain last week. Just wish you congratulations if anything like that did go your way, even though you had a hard struggle to go with before you did it. So congratulations if you got it. If you didn't get it, hey, you know what, better things are to come, and there's always a plan somewhere in place that nobody can see. So keep a positive head, huh? How about all you race fans out there? How about yesterday's race? Golly, it's been a while since I watched a NASCAR race, I will admit. But if you are a Sprint customer and you have Sprint, obviously, like I just said, you have the ability to download an app called NASCAR Race View, and it gives you a view of the race. It kind of looks like the cheap video game graphics, the cool video game graphics back when PlayStation first came out, and you were like, oh man, these graphics are so awesome because the cars are going around in a track, even though the graphics suck. Looking back, now at those graphics, they were really terrible, but everyone, it was state of the art back then. Anyway, so yeah, it's pretty much like those graphics on your phone, on your cell phone, and you can either hear MRN, it's the racing network, or you can switch to any driver you want. You can hear their radio chatter, which is really cool because I've been to a couple races, and I know those, just to get the scanners themselves are like $50. I mean, it's expensive. It's like a $50 deposit, but you get it for the weekend, plus you got to pay on top of that something. I mean, they're cool. They're big headphones that go over your ears, so you're not deaf by the end of the race. But on top of that, you also get to listen into any driver that you would like. If your favorite driver happens to be Dale Jr., like the man who won yesterday, that is freaking awesome. That's cool. And I mean, and I hate to talk, not local, big news that you can see anywhere on ESPN, CNN, whatever. I really hate to talk about that type of stuff, but I mean, that's just freaking awesome. And to do it the same race that they allowed his father's number to be used again on a car is just as awesome. Who knows? Maybe that's what he needed. Maybe he needed to see that number 3 out there on the track again, and just to give him that little boost of confidence. So again, way to go, Dale Jr. If you ever do happen to listen to this podcast and come across this, good job, congratulations, and here's to a season that's just begun for you, sir. So we move from racing to poo. What a transition, huh? So, no surprise here, a sewer was blocked by a big poo, and not the type of poo you're thinking of. This was Scottish Water has found some unusual objects blocking the sewers underneath Scotland over the past year. That includes a huge plush Winnie the Pooh bear in East Kilbride, South Lanarkshire, excuse me. But they say the list also contains a fax machine. First of all, if you're getting a fax machine down a toilet into a sewer to clog that thing, I need that toilet because I cannot, and we're about to get personal as listeners and podcasters here. We're about to get real personal. I'm going to tell you right now, I cannot turd without stopping anything up. I'm telling you, I mean, I even stop up porta potties, and those don't even flush. Man, that's bad. A little TMI there for you guys. Hey, so how do you get a fax machine down the toilet? Unfortunately, they don't say how that happens, but apparently it's happened. A bike? Yeah, a fax machine, a bike, a snake, which is, I've heard people flush alligators down there once alligators start to get a little too big. Those who still keep alligators as pets or crocodiles, anything. And blue jeans. Again, not your real typical thing you would try to flush down the toilet here in the U.S. Those Scots must really have some monstrous toilets to be flushing fax machines and bicycles. Way to get rid of evidence. How does anyone get such items down the drain, you might ask? But the most common objects that block a sewer are grease, of course, diapers. I've never tried to flush a diaper down the toilet. And baby wipes. That's understandable. A new public awareness campaign hopes to discourage people from putting anything into the sewer system that will cause blockages. Unstopping the pipes costs the utility more than 7 million pounds every year. Now, I've already done the math. I've already Googled it. In case those of you are wondering, because I was an inquiring mind, 7 million pounds in US dollars, that would be $11 million. $11,642,400 to be precise. So, there you go. So, anyone hear about this? I don't know if this was in the big news. I came across the story and I thought it was pure genius, pure awesome, but pure genius at the same time. A Girl Scout selling cookies outside a cannabis clinic. Yeah, right? So, in a genius marketing move, 13-year-old Scout Danielle Lay, with her mom's help, set up a cookie stand outside a medical marijuana clinic in San Francisco. That is San Francisco, California. Only in California, right? The sidewalk in front of the Green Cross dispensary turned out to be a lucrative position. She sold 117 boxes in 2 hours. 117 boxes in 2 hours. Wow. That's 37 more than she sold in front of a grocery store the next day. Man, how mad was she when she was only selling, she was probably yelling at those old people saying, the potheads buy more than you guys do. Holy. It's not the first time Danielle has sold cookies outside a medical marijuana clinic, although it was the first time at this location. No other scouts in her troop have tried this method, so if you're in San Francisco or you're in anywhere else that happens to sell medicinal marijuana at a clinic like this in public, you should probably start looking out for Girl Scout cookies to move outside that clinic. So if you're trying to get away from them and avoid them, and you go to your local clinic to avoid them, well, now you're unfortunately not going to be able to avoid them at your medicinal marijuana clinic. It says here the local council, though, has no problem with it. Of course not, because they're getting monstrous sales out of this. They're like, why haven't we thought of this? This girl's a genius. Her parents are geniuses. Danielle will return to the Green Cross to sell more cookies. So, again, if you are a medicinal card carrier, marijuana carrier, you can look forward to more Girl Scouts heading to the outside of your medicinal marijuana clinic. In case you're wondering where to buy Girl Scout cookies. This was something that caught my eye. I heard about this, and apparently it's happened twice. A 10-year-old Norwegian joyrider does it again. A 10-year-old boy from Dakota, Norway, was in the news last week when he drove his parents' car several miles from home with his 18-month-old sister along. He had snuck out while the family was asleep. Okay, I have 2 daughters. I have a 5-year-old and a 6-year-old. The most problem I've had so far, knock on wood, is my 6-year-old, when she was younger, we used to come in the room in the morning, and she would have all the clothes torn out of her dresser. That was the most we ever really dealt with her. Never really had her try to take a car with her sister. Thank God. So yeah, he drove the car into a ditch and flagged down a snowplow for help. This is where it gets better. The boy told the snowplow driver that he was a dwarf and had ditched the car when he turned around to retrieve his forgotten license. It wasn't so funny when the child pulled the same stunt again this week. It says the boy drove off in his aunt's car, and the police were called. The child made it 19 miles this time before he stopped, and a bystander took his car keys away. The West Oakland police weren't as forgiving for the second offense and have reported the family to child services. What about the kid, though? You report the parents to child services. What about the kid? Well, I mean, granted, it doesn't say where, it doesn't say if he spilled the beer or anything like that, or, I mean, I don't understand why they would stop him. I mean, he wasn't texting while driving unless he was in a school zone. But honestly, man, that's nuts. I don't even think at 10 years old, I knew how to drive a car. I barely knew how to start the lawnmower at that age. Man, Norwegian kids for you, I guess, right? So, Star Wars fans, you guys may want to listen up. No, I don't have news about the new movie coming out or anything like that, so sorry. You can shut it off now. The U.S. Navy is going to start using Star Wars-style lasers now that you've turned it back on, so now what the heck, I'll listen again. From Star Wars to Austin Powers, we're all agreed on one thing. The lasers, especially on Sharks or Death Stars, are cool. They are really cool. Unless you're watching the old Star Wars with the terrible graphics, then it's still pretty cool. And they could be about to enter the battleground in real life, as the U.S. Navy has announced plans to deploy its first laser weapon on a ship later this year. It is also planning to test the electromagnetic railgun prototype within 2 years. The plan is to use the lasers against objects such as aerial drones, speedboats, and swarm boats, with a beam of energy capable of burning through its target or corrupting electronics. That's cool. That's really cool. If you look up, there's a YouTube video online. The man's name is Kip K, K-I-P K-A-Y, Kip K videos, and he makes just like a bunch of weird, he like hacks a bunch of different products. He actually makes lasers that give off enough heat to, I know there's one video where he's melted the screen on an iPhone. I do believe there's one where he started a fire with one. I don't know how he makes them. They're pretty cool. So, I mean, to me, this kind of sounds like the same thing. Disappointingly, though, you can't actually see the beam of energy, purely its effects. So, pretty much what they're saying is you won't see green shooting across from one ship to another ship. You're only going to see the effects, as in the explosion from the laser hitting the ship. Which, I mean, it's still pretty cool, because, I mean, now, you got to think. We got a team of military people thinking up ways to use lasers to blow stuff up. But somewhere, there's got to be someone in the back saying, hey, maybe we should work on like a way to keep the lasers from hitting us, in case they're working on the same thing. Maybe. And nobody hears that guy, because everyone's like, it's going to blow stuff up and be so cool. And, there's always that one genius sitting in the back just kind of raising his hand up, doing the quiet little hand raise thing, where he's slowly sliding his hand up and saying, maybe we we should